you have the infrared sensors on the Wii controllers, to where when he moves his head around, the image on the screen adjusts correctly so it gives the appearance of 3D.
I have seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going to see stuff like that built into the next generation of consoles. So it's not going to be like, left, right, eye 3D. It's going to be more head tracking 3D.
Oh. Or in body tracking too, I imagine.
Right. Well, I'll probably see some of that too. And I think that we're obviously going to see a lot better graphics, and I think that that's going to manifest itself in games, in that we're going to have many more games that simulate huge world experiences. Like GTA is sort of on that track, and other games are kind of at the tip of the iceberg of that, like Assassin's Creed kind of get the appearance of a bigger world. But I think we're going to see a lot more of these really large worlds simulated, and you won't hardly see any games anymore that are basically what they call
confined.
Where they're like on rails. Where you're basically from A to B to C to D in the game. You're just basically inside a big tube.
Right.
And there's scenery on each side of you, but you can never actually go to that scenery. So I think we're going to see a lot more interesting world simulation games.
Oh, that's awesome.
There'll still be action and everything, but you'll be able to explore the world, and you'll see things off in the distance, and it won't just be eye candy. You'll actually be able to go to it.
Right, I know. And I've heard people, I talked to some of my friends, and that's one of their favorite things to do. They might get through the actual, the role play and the action and stuff, and then they're like, hey, let's go walk over here and see what's going on over there. And if there's, they just love that type of stuff, even if it's just a little bit of eye candy and there's no real plot to it. They love exploring. So that's good to hear.
Exactly. I mean, it's almost like, like World of Warcraft, to where you can basically go wherever you want. I think we're going to see a lot of action games and other games take advantage of having these huge worlds in the future, on the next generation of consoles. I think another area that's going to really be improved is the area of AI, which is one that is really sorely lacking in current games.
Right.
And it's real easy to tell computer AI versus humans playing characters in games, and I think that's one of the reasons why online gaming is so intensely popular, is because the level or the challenge of your opponent, the fact that another human gives you a great challenge that you just don't get from computer AI. So computer AI needs to take it has fallen way behind and needs to catch up. And I think we're going to see AI in the future. Matter of fact, I'm very confident about this because I've actually already seen demos of AI that are not in games yet, but will soon be incorporated in coming games, where the AI of the enemy that you're fighting actually learns from your behavior as a player and learns to adapt to it as you're playing. And it's basic, sort of like evolutionary AI, to where it just learns from the behavior of the player, and different players will get different experiences from the enemy AI in the game.
Sure.
Because different players play differently. So I think there's a whole world to explore in that area there, and I think that with the extra computing power of the next generation of consoles, we're going to see that area just explode.
Yeah, that reminds me of a little story about AI in the movie business, and it kind of relates, I guess, to gameplay. When they were making Lord of the Rings, when these huge battle scenes with thousands of orcs and whatnot, humans fighting out there, they had AI programmed into all of these little, avatars that were appearing in the movie. And the orcs actually, they saw a whole group of orcs going backwards. Instead of attacking the humans, they went backwards. And what they did is they went out the backside of the screen and went around, and they attacked from the other side. And the AI had figured that out, that it was more advantageous to just go through the boundary and come out on the other side and do an attack. So I'm sure that would make for a surprising gameplay if your AI was doing that type of stuff.
Right.
There was one other question I saw from someone in the chat about any potential for Wii games, even though it's obviously not as powerful of hardware. Are you involved? Is 3D Realms involved in any Wii games development?
No, the Wii platform is sort of like the Disney platform of the industry, and we're pretty focused on. I hate to say this, the more hardcore games, but
I know what
right
you're
now,
talking about. Yeah.
yeah, and most people understand, and plus the Wii is a little underpowered for what we're doing. We're trying to go for the really high-end gaming experiences, and not that the Wii is a bad platform anyway. It's just that it's sort of in a different category and one that we're not really exploring right now.
Okay. Yeah, and then another question: is there any game-based movie venture that you're involved in currently? That and any of your games going to be turned into a feature film?
Yeah, there's been actually a lot of work on a Duke Nukem movie here recently.
Oh.
It's really taken off because of the release of the Max Payne movie, which was another movie I was remotely involved with. On the movie set, I was actually, very much involved with the creation of the IP. So the same producers who were involved with the Max Payne movie are now pushing heavily on getting the Duke Nukem movie done. I've actually been in the studios at DreamWorks and just a whole bunch of other movie film studios, and there's no doubt that there's high interest there.
Sure.
I think it's definitely going to happen, but as with all these things, we need to get the right script done. And even if you get the right script done, I'll go back and tell a little story about Max Payne. We felt like we had a really good script for that movie, but because that movie agreement was actually one that was put into place about 9 or 10 years ago, back when we had less leverage, we didn't have as much control over how the movie came out.
Oh.
And what happened was is that the director of the movie kind of took it upon himself to change a lot of what was in the script and sort of refashion the movie like he saw fit. And in my opinion, it turned out to be a much lesser movie than the one that was written on the script.
Okay.
So, with the Duke Nukem movie, we want to make sure that doesn't happen. And I think now we do have the leverage to do that.
Sure.
So anyway, that's one of the cool things I think we're working on the film side.
Well, that is exciting. Yeah. Well, at this point, I want to kind of transition topics a little bit. For those of you that don't know, Scott Miller also a life extension advocate and kind of practices a healthy lifestyle, looking to extend his own life. And in the past, hey. Scott, I've seen pictures. You look like maybe what some typical gamers perhaps look like from too many hours in front of the computer, perhaps a little overweight, but now you're trim and fit and you look like 25 years old. And I know this transition happened just a handful of years ago. I just wanted to know what got you on the path towards living a healthier lifestyle and looking for life extension. Was there any seminal moment, or was it a gradual thing?
Yeah, there was definitely a kick in the butt moment,
Okay.
and people are going to laugh because it's not like it was a heart attack or anything like that. It was basically just a kidney stone, and it happened about 10 years ago. And I thought I was leading a pretty healthy life.
Yeah.
But I was also sitting in front of a computer desk all the time, eating snack foods, pizzas, fast food, all that kind of stuff. But I didn't eat candy bars, I didn't drink soda, so I thought I was on the right track, but clearly I wasn't. And anyway, I had this kidney stone, and I had no idea what it was. And I was at home, and suddenly this intense pain was just ripping through my body. My wife called 911, and they came up to me, and were rushing in like I was having a heart attack, and then they checked me over, and my heart was fine and everything, and they said, I think you're just having a kidney stone. I felt quite embarrassed about that, but I did go to the hospital, and I remember asking the doctor, basically in the waiting room, I went through 2 hours of intense pain before they finally saw me and got me onto some morphine. But I asked the doctor, what causes a kidney stone? You know, I never want this to happen again. You know, just please tell me what can I do to avoid this. And the doctor didn't have an answer, so I started to research this up on my own. And, you know, I found out that it's mainly the foods I was eating.